Welcome to the Podcast Rodeo Show. I'm your host, Dave Jackson from the School of Podcasting.com. This is where we grab a random podcast and see how long I can hang on. Then I take my 15 years of podcasting experience and give you an honest first impression. And today we are listening to The Trail Connection. Their description in Apple Podcasts says this: The Trail Connection brings listeners/viewers alongside Tim Garland and various guests on outdoor excursions into many different locations around the country. Episodes comprised of a range of topics including hiking, camping, site setups, campfire cooking, gear reviews, storytelling, and adventure previews, inspiring interest in getting outdoors through sharing experiences, learning from some really cool folks, and engaging in good conversations. They're listed as a nature podcast in Apple Podcast. Their website is trail-connection.com. And before we take a listen to their episode, I got to remind you,
the following is an opinion, and only an opinion. These are actual, honest first impressions. If you don't like the opinion, feel free to never listen again.
And here we go.
I'm Tim Garland. This is the Trail Connection Podcast. Exploring, learning, and connecting through a love for the outdoors. Talking everything from hiking to camping.
Yeah, I can't hear you. Your music's way too loud.
From hiking to camping to just plain living. This is the Trail Connection Podcast.
All right.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Trail Connection Podcast. My name is Tim Garland, aka Mitty. I'm your host, and this week we are kicking off our brand new season 2021, kicking it off right. I wanted to bring my friend Peter Murphy and his oldest boy Ethan on the show this week and talk a little bit about their AT section hike that they took together, first time ever been. I thought that'd be a really cool way to kick off the year and kick off the new series. So let's hear what they got to say. Hey, Peter. Hey, Ethan. Welcome to the Trail Connection. I'm excited to have you guys join the show this week. You're the first guest that I've brought on the show for 2021, and we're kicking off the second season. I'm calling it a season. It's not official. It's just a series of...
Okay, we're getting into the whole how the sausage is made, and you just introduced these people twice, just for the record.
Just a series of episodes, but I'll call this season 2. So, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. We feel honored to be the first guest of 2021.
Calling from a tube, apparently, in their bathroom.
21.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. So the reason why I wanted to bring you guys on the show was because, Peter, you were telling me about your little section hike that you guys did last year on the Appalachian Trail together, and told me a little bit about the highlights, and I thought it was really cool that father-son went on this trip together. And from what I understand, this is the first time both of you guys have been on the trail before?
Yep.
Yeah, it sure was. It was brand new for us. Ethan turned 13 in July of last year, and so we were looking for something that we could do together that would be significant, kind of a rite of passage kind of thing, to signify that big milestone in a young man's life. And Ethan is an outdoorsman, loves to do that kind of stuff. I like to do it too, and so we decided to give it a shot together, figure it all out, father and son, and learn from each other and from a bunch of people who'd done it before, and ended up working out real well.
That's great. That's really cool. So, Peter, why don't you tell...
This is some bad audio. And what's interesting is when you come on, more hiss is added. I realize a lot of times you can't help the guest, but it's just...
Peter, why don't you tell my audience a little bit about yourself, what you do, and where you're from?
Yeah, for sure. So
That's a horrible question right there. We're going to stop it there. Here's the thing. Your first question was this the first time on the trail together? And you had that question took a long time to come out of your mouth. You're like, I understand this is this and that. And I don't know, to me, it was like you asked a yes/no question. Was this your first time on the road together? There's got to be a better first question than that. And your second question is, tell me a little bit about yourself. No, because that person could say, well, I was raised in, Beaver Mud, Mississippi. I was a grocery bagger at the age of 10, helped my dad change his oil when I was 14. No, it should be, something about being outdoors. Do you remember the first hike that you went on, or do you something? But tell me a little bit about yourself. Is not a good. You're leaving the door way, way wide open, and your audio right now is it's pretty bad, and it sounds like you are recording. I'm gonna guess on a Blue Yeti, where your microphone is probably about 2 feet away from you, and it's just got a lot of room and just a lot of hiss. And now I'm listening through the ears of a podcaster, but if we go back to the very beginning of this, you actually have a hum.
I'm Tim Garland. This is the Trail Connection Podcast.
Yeah, it's there's something. It's like your air conditioner or something in the background. Now again, I'm listening. I'm picky with my ears, but I like the intro, except for the fact that I can't hear you. So your first impression is, wow, I can't hear what the show's about because the music's too loud. Then you come in, you say, I want to introduce these guys because they're on a TX something something show, but you didn't really say like why you want. I guess the reason you brought them on is because this was a father-son thing, something that didn't really make me want to go, wow, I can't wait to hear these guys. So the tease was not great. Then you bring them on, and this is where it's your responsibility to have guests that do something to sound decent. And I realized they probably don't have 2 microphones, and you're interviewing 2 people. And that's where, I don't know what you do. You get them on Zoom, on each one on their own computer maybe, but they were pretty bad. Now, I am willing to forgive the guests. It's something that I go, if you can do something to get them better. But when you came back in to ask the second question, and the audio got worse, like like you can hear, it's like considerable hiss comes on when you come on. That's not acceptable. You can't, no, just nope. So that's my honest first impression, because at this point I'm like, nope. The intro shows that it's not ready for prime time, because I honestly can't hear anything you're saying. I'll shut up.
Exploring, learning, and connecting through a love for the outdoors. Talking everything from hiking to camping to just plain living. This is the Trail Connection Podcast.
I mean, I'm really straining, and I heard you that time. But turn the music down. That's crazy. I did like the music. I'll give that. The down, that was cool. But other than that, you need some work here. The other thing, and I'm going to give you some bonus tips here, because I feel bad that I'm just kind of peeing all over your podcast here. When I look at your titles, you have the phrase, the Trail Connection, on every episode. You don't need to do that. And then you have the episode number. I'm not a big fan of episode numbers at the beginning. I like them at the end. If the idea is they're there for search, they'll show up at the end. The title of your episode is so important, and you don't need the Trail Connection in there, because anywhere I can see the episodes in any app, the Trail Connection is at the top of the screen. And so you are like setting it on fire, like a dumpster fire, when you put the name of your show at the beginning of the episode. Get those out of there. And then, like, I think this was episode 20, Rite of Passage. So that's cool. Swamp Cabbage Stew, a final word from 2020. So you want those titles to be something that makes me either go, wonder what that's about, or man, I want to hear that. So, but right now, Trail Connection has got to go from your titles, in my opinion, because I just want to help you out here. I see you're on Apple and Spotify. Let me see. Okay, yeah, you're using Buzzsprout, so you've got all the other things there, Google Podcasts, things like that. The good news is everything I just said is super easy to fix. But right now, I'm like, not a great first impression. But, I can hear I can see on your website the passion you have for the great outdoors. So keep that up, and just take a little time to get that introduction under control, get rid of some of your hiss, and you should be good to go. Now, if you would like your show right here on the Podcast Rodeo Show, all you got to do is go over to podcastrodeoshow.com, and you will click on the button at the top that says Get Reviewed, and you will hear your podcast right here, not in front of just my ears, but in front of the ears of my listeners, because on occasion, my listeners will go, Dave, hey, you didn't like that show? I liked it a lot. So don't worry if you go, Dave didn't like my show. Yeah, but I bet a lot of my audience did. So there you go. So thank you so much for tuning in. This is Dave Jackson from the Podcast Rodeo Show and the School of Podcasting.com, reminding you that there's always room for improvement.